All right, so my sophomore year in college, my head assistant wrestling coach was Greg Jones. And
boring. No, I'm just joking.
After Coach Turnbull, they didn't renew his contract, so all the coaches got let go. And after that season, Greg went down to be the head wrestling coach for Black Zillions, which is now Sanford. So that was where I went, because that's where I knew people. So
who'd you know there?
Greg Jones.
Oh, Greg Jones.
He's the head wrestling coach now.
Yeah.
So I went down and trained for a week, and then I met Phil in Morgantown the same year. Oh. And so once I finished and graduated, I hit him up because I wanted to fight. So we started training and became good friends. And then he took me down here for vacation once school ended.
Who took you down here?
Phil.
Phil. Interesting.
So he came down here, and then he was just randomly like, "Oh, hey, do you wanna get sparring in today?" And I was like, "I don't have any gear, but yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
So then I came in and met Julian.
Oh,
and
he just won you over, huh?
He beat the crap out of me, so bad. And the worst part was I was fresh out I just finished national, so I was feeling pretty good about myself as far as grappling goes.
Right.
And he beat me at my own game, and then
that's crazy. You won nationals?
No, I didn't win. I didn't win nationals.
That's why. No, just joking.
I competed at nationals, and
okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of confidence going into the end of the year and just into the off season.
Good.
And, yeah.
Good. So you met Julian. He beat your ass.
Yeah.
And you were like, man, you fell.
So then I went home. I kind of already told.
Did you cry? Did you go home and cry about it?
I thought about it a lot.
I got beat up.
Nah, but it was like it was messing with me at night. I would think about it, and I was like, I don't know what he's doing down there, but I gotta come to see this guy, because whatever they're doing there,
get revenge.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
it was very prideful thing.
Yeah.
It was.
I bet.
It was this idea that.
And then what happened then, huh? And what happened then, huh?
I've been trying to get revenge ever since, and I never have.
And how long you been at Fusion?
Like 4 years.
Wow. Man, you're sorry,
every month I would tell him, she's like, give me another month, I'm gonna get you. Give me another month. And he's like, nah, like sometime, like if I'm like 45, you'll get me. And I'm like, 45?
Yeah.
But still haven't got him yet. So
that's crazy, man. That's insane, because Julian's like 38, 39. He's like an old man.
Yeah.
And you're like what,
27.
27. You're still having problems.
Yeah.
What we need to do, man? Do more push-ups. What's going on? Everything.
More jiu-jitsu, more boxing.
Yeah. I get it. What do you think? Was the difference of like, when you came here, and you probably went to other couple camps too, right?
Yeah, I went to Miller Brothers in New Jersey.
Oh, Miller. Okay, that's a dope. Yeah. And how rare is it to train with your actual coach? Because a lot of coaches kind of stand out and they say pad work or give you direction.
Well, it definitely.
But to find a guy that's like all around.
Well, it gives you. When they teach something, you believe in it immediately. So it's not like, oh, well, I like to do this. No, it's. I do this to you, so you have a first-hand experience of this works, and I'll do it to you, and this is what I like. So a lot of times when Julian shows stuff, I'm guessing people that aren't haven't been grappling for a long time, they're just like, oh, well, this doesn't really make sense. But anytime he shows something, it's like, yeah, you do that to me all the time. So it's very first-hand, as in translating. He's like, okay, I've seen you do this to me, so I know this works, and I try to do the same thing to other people.
How does that go? Does it
work?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Okay. And what other feels do you get since you've been here at Fusion? Like, isn't it like besides the training, the coaching, it's got a different like coming from a wrestling like background? Is it like a competitive spirit too? Like how? Did you recognize anything like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's different looks for every single style here, and that's what I like most. Even the jiu-jitsu black belts, all of them are different styles of black belt. You know, you have like guys that are more heavy with their wrestling, or more heavy with like pressure passing, but then you have the guys that are a little more patient and a little more technical. So you have all those looks to get from, and then at the same time you have amazing boxing coaches like JT, and then kickboxing Mike Scroy. So I mean, you got everything. And yeah, I mean, the competitive nature a little bit is kind of died down from college, just because in college every day you're like, they're trying to kill you. You know, so I mean, it's a little more controlled and a little more
right. And so let me ask you, so over the years, and now you're kind of like training with some guys here already, like you're kind of being picked out of the weeds to be that kind of like that
to emulate other people,
support, kind of being part of that that process of them going to a fight to fight a specific individual. How's that? What's that like?
That's cool. It's crazy to think that I decided to come here not knowing many people, or really anyone that fought out of this gym, and here I am a few years later, and Lyoto Machida picks me. Hey, like, he came in, I just like, I'm not the guy that's gonna come up and ask for pictures and stuff.
Right.
But he actually came up to me and he said, hey, I've heard about you.
What?
And it made me feel, I was like, oh, you know me? Like, I was like, that's crazy. So then he asked, he's like, hey, so we sparred, and we went like a couple rounds, and then I think that was definitive enough for him to say, hey, I want you to be a part of my camp, because I see how you wrestle, and I think you can emulate my opponents. So like, let's do this. I want to work with you this time. And then we started working out times at work, but it was just, it's still kind of surreal to think that, like, he actually, like, he saw something, you know, and chose me to help out. And he actually, it's amazing. He listens to me, you know.
Oh man,
just
someone actually listens to you.
No, it's because, you know, when you, like, even in high level wrestling, it's there's a lot of different ways to do things, you know. Right. And I try to teach anyone who asks, everything that I know. Right. So, but even then, there's very, very few who take what I say to heart and then try to implement. And then just to think that Lyoto Machida does that. He sees what I teach him. He trusts that it's the truth. Right. And he tries to implement it. And he feels it works. So it goes into, like, you know, he can feel it and trust it, because he has a good mind to know what works and what doesn't. But
let me ask you a question. Do you trust me?
I do.
Oh man, that's such an awesome answer.
No, I do. I'm
so
just
good.
playing with you.
Yeah. But who would have thought? Like, let me ask you this: did you even know who Lyoto was when you first started training? Did you ever know who he was? Was there a time in your life when you didn't know? Was there a time in your life that you didn't know who he was?
When I've known Lyoto ever since I was maybe 10.
10?
12.
12?
When I first started watching UFC with my friends.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So what would you think that is? Like, I mean, to me, when I see stuff like that, it's like a God thing. You know, like,
yeah, everything's a God thing,
right?
Man. Always.
I mean, super dope, right? I mean, who would have thought wrestling would have brought you here, or your parents beating your ass every day and telling you to be a good boy? What got you here, right?
Yeah. It's weird how all those things just, like, I think of, like, the ripple effect. I was thinking the other day of how a teammate of mine, Ross Renzi, like, just him deciding to come to WVU to wrestle is the only reason I'm here, because without Ross, I don't meet Phil. Without Phil, I don't meet Julian. Without that, I'm not here. So all those little things, like, from years and years and years ago, play into the decisions and the things and the places and the people, those things that are happening now. So just to think about that is, like, you know, you can't help but just to, like, all right, God, like, that's you.
And you know what's crazy about all that? Couldn't even put a dollar or value on it. You couldn't sell it or trade it. There would be no, to me, like what I do here, I couldn't put a value on it. It's like someone wanted to buy my experience. I just couldn't, I couldn't think of a number. There wouldn't be enough. Like, I mean, maybe $1 million would be nice. Like, I'll sell you one. But, like, who would I mean, like, you couldn't go to college for this. You couldn't buy this anywhere in what you're going through and what you're experiencing right now in your life. And this is just the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Talk about, like, value. A lot of people are rich, and this is something I look like in life. Money's nice, but you're not. it's a different kind of rich. We're rich in like this experience, this opportunity, the atmosphere, the journey. Like when you look back on your life, man, it's going to be it's kind of be an awesome story, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think in terms of like, I mean, just like you said, you can't buy experience, and you know, I mean, our goal is always to get to a place where you're successful and you're influencing people, but you know, just thinking about it, if money is the only drive, then I mean, you're not seeing the bigger picture of like, you know, for me, and I know for you as well, you think about God and you think about like your impact on other people and what your job here is on the earth. So when you have that mindset of the impact that you have on other people and what is all this worth at the end of your life, you know, because everything's gonna, you know, your money, all that stuff is gonna disappear. So what are you doing this for? You know, and you have to ask yourself that question every day.
For me, like for me, when I knew that I finally knew I was doing what I was supposed